Hari Om, Sai Ram, Sri Gurubhyo Namaha, Sri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. In the previous Adhyaya, we have seen the characteristics of a perfected person, Yoga Yukta, how to get freedom from desire and anger, and how should a person prepare himself to be a yogi in Karma Sannyasa Yogam. Today, we are going to know what Bhagavan has discussed in Atma Samyama Yogam, the sixth Adhyaya of Bhagavad Gita. What are the characteristics of a sannyasi or a yogi? Bhagavan says, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life, and he is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no work. That is, a living entity who acts for satisfaction of the supreme whole and not for personal satisfaction or sense gratification is the perfect sannyasi, the perfect yogi. What are the requirements for the practices of meditation? Bhagavan says there are stages of advancement in the process of meditation, namely Aruruksha Yoga Rudhayatnaha Yoga Rudhaha. That is, in order to experience the divine, one has to follow the regulative principles of life, has to perform activities as offering to God and not for fruitive results. Only such activities can lead one to achieve perfect mental equilibrium and control over the senses. That is, practice of Dhamma. This is the phase at the beginning of the practices. Secondly, one who maintains and further proceeds in the path of yoga, that is, Yoga Rudha Yatna. When one is firm and persistent in the practices, then he automatically ceases all disturbing mental activities. It is then he can practice Uparati Samam, which will help him to lead further in the ladder of yoga towards Yoga Rudha Sthiti, the highest rung. Uparati is withdrawing or renouncing that which doesn't fit one's dharma or duty, and Sama is mastery over mind. When the totality of mind, the chitta, is withdrawn from senses to inward, it is not possible to perform any activity. Therefore, the qualities required are firstly control over the senses, Dhamma, and secondly, not seeking sense gratification. Finally, Uparama, not being interested in fruitive activities. Thus, finally, one being devoid of any sankalpa and being situated in the self, contemplating upon the self, reaches the Yoga Rudha Sthiti. What does the following terms mean? Ekaki, Prashantatma, Vigatabhi, and Manasamyama. Ekaki. Ekaki means alone. There is a saying, Ek Niranjan, Do Gadbad. That is, to avoid unnecessary communication and wavering of mind, one needs to be at a secluded place for the purpose of meditation. Prasantatma, unagitated mind, the state when all the faculties of the mind are calm and at peace. Like the sea is deep, calm, and mighty, so should the mind be unagitated to experience the divine. Vigatabhi, devoid of fear. When one realizes that this world is an illusion and everything around that is real is his true self, that is, only he is real, and there is no place for fear when he realizes this. Dvitiyadvai bhayam bhavati. Fear is only when one forgets his true self and identifies with the material world. Manas samyama, that is, completely subdued mind. When one possesses the above qualities, one is fit to be a yogi. Who is fit to be a yogi? What else Bhagavan cautions us? A yogi is one who eats, sleeps in moderation. One who eats or sleeps too much or too little, there is no possibility of becoming a yogi. Therefore, one who is temperate in his habits of eating, sleeping, working, and recreation can mitigate all material pains by practicing the path of yoga, this yoga system. What is the process of meditation? One who is on the path of yoga, the transcendentalist, should always try to concentrate his mind on the Supreme Self. He should live alone in a secluded place and should always carefully control his mind. He should be free from desires and feelings of possessiveness. He should be very careful to accept favorable and reject unfavorable conditions that affect his realization. As well, Bhagavan continues saying, having chosen a secluded place, should lay kusa grass on the ground and then cover it with a deer skin and a soft cloth. The seat should neither be too high nor too low and should be situated in a sacred place. The yogi should then sit on it very firmly and should practice yoga by controlling the mind and the senses, purifying the heart and fixing the mind at one point. Thereby, one should hold one's body, neck, and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. Thus, with an unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fever, following the vow of celibacy, one should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life. Thus, one should practice meditation. Here is a story which tells God help those who help themselves. The story is a sparrow laid her eggs on the shore of the ocean, but the big ocean carried away the eggs on its waves. The sparrow became very upset and asked the ocean to return her eggs. The ocean did not even consider her appeal. So the sparrow decided to dry up the ocean. She began to pick out the water in her small beak, and everyone laughed at her for her impossible determination. The news of her activity spread, and at last Garuda, the gigantic bird carrier of Lord Vishnu, heard it. He became compassionate towards his small sister bird, and so he came to see the sparrow. Garuda was very pleased by the determination of the small sparrow, and he promised to help. Thus, Garuda at once asked the ocean to return her eggs, lest he himself take up the work of the sparrow. The ocean was frightened at this and returned the eggs. Thus, the sparrow became happy by the grace of Garuda. Similarly, the practice of yoga may appear to be very difficult, but if anyone follows the principles with great determination, the Lord will surely help, for God help those who help themselves. Sai Ram. पुनर्मिलामः हरि ओम् सर्वं श्रीकृष्णचरणारविन्दार्पणमस्तु